So, men don't date successful women. How many people have heard that line? The whole room.
That's not true. I think it's a lie that both genders have continued to use, because at any given time, I've not really had a challenge with getting a boyfriend. But of course, it comes with its own challenges, all right? So it's not entirely that you can't date, that you can't get a husband, and things like that. But of course, then it comes with its own challenges.
Okay, like what?
Of course, if you are with an insecure person, and it's not generalizing that all men and things like that. I don't do those things. So, is that so? Of course, insecure. Many successful women, you have to work hard. You have to, most of the time, probably be away from your home and things like that. And so if you are with an insecure person, that will definitely bring trouble and problems in your relationship. Issues to do with finances, of course, as well. It's there, and it's the lies that we have told our boys and men, even growing up, you know, that women are always, you know, below you, and so
you pay
in
all the bills.
aspects. And so if you have an insecure person, they will have a problem with your finances and things like that. Yeah.
Okay. You can't marry a man from another tribe.
No, love knows no boundaries here.
So you actually got married while in office.
Yes.
And you're Samburu.
Yes.
And he is?
He's from Baringo County. He's a Baringo Middle.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did that play out? What happened, especially as you were running for office? How has that played out or impacted your career?
Let me say this, that would you believe that was one of my greatest challenges, running for office? Like, really? Like, for women, why should that be a problem? As in, you can do everything else. You know, everything else is constant. They even say it is good. Actually, but the problem is that I'm not married. Like, which man do we ask about their wives when they're in office? Like, when you go to the ballot, do you find a photo of a man and the wife and the husband? It is always one person who you vote for, isn't it?
Right.
And so I just don't get it. And so you're not married. And then you get married. So now my whole entire campaign, and Nasirian is here from Samburu West. She knows the struggles that we went through.
Okay.
Yani, just about that you're not married, that you've not gone through FGM. I don't know how they know, you know, as in, you know, it's just below, you know, for women.
But it's also humiliating. Are you supposed to stand on a podium and tell people about your genitals?
You know, so most of the time for women and in leadership, it's just all about that. And I find it's very unfair for women. And so now I'm married again, then to who? And why? And why not a Samburu? And sijui what? And if I was married to a Samburu, most probably it would be, why not this clan? Why did you choose that one? You know,
why isn't he our MP?
And why isn't he that? And so, but I really, really thank the people of Samburu West for demystifying that lie, that it doesn't matter, that, oh yes, and I was also told, and you have no children, so what can you come and lead us and tell us, and you can't even lead your own 2-year roles or whatever, so what can you come and tell us? And so
So what were your responses like when people are saying all these things? I saw something, the CDF will go to...
now they do Photoshop of schools in Baringo and say all the money for Samburu West has gone to Baringo. And you can imagine, these are guys actually who've gone to school, people, I mean, if you know how to Photoshop, so of course you're exposed and things like that, and you use that lie to tell our illiterate and people who probably would believe because they don't know and they don't understand, and it's actually a lie that is being told. But so one thing that I decided to do, and by the way, this I was told by Honorable Martha Karua, who was my mentor when I was going through this. And she told me, the things that you don't want them to be relevant in your campaign period, please don't make them. because the more you continue talking about them and everything, it continues to become an issue.
The conversation
then continues to be around that issue. So if it is about your marriage, if it's about whether you have children or not, you have to decide whether that is important to you.
Right.
So that if it is important to you, then you make it an issue. If it is not important, then don't make it an issue. So you'd rarely hear me talk about it anywhere.
Okay.
In interviews, in anything, when I'm on the ground campaigning or anything, that is not an issue to me. So I stick to the issues.
Okay.
I stick to the issues. This is where we are. This is where we want to go, and things like that.
Okay.
You know, once in a while I'd throw in the lines of, you've always given a chance to your boys, and we're not saying it's wrong. Please try your girls, because God has given you boys and girls. So you just play around it, but not in a forceful way and making it an issue. I don't make it an issue at all.
Okay. I like that you've mentioned Martha Karua. Another lie is that women are their own worst enemies. Has this been true in your career?
I have both men and women enemies,
Okay.
It's so good. So it's also another lie, and I think it's a lie that probably even men use it more often on us, so that we continue to live it. To continue to live that lie, because I have had very strong women in my life now, both in friends. In my career, at my family, my mother, my aunties, I have very supportive people, and they are women. And in equal measure, I have those that
there are some who just don't support
me. And then even men actually tear each other apart every other day. They're abusing each other. They are doing what? But they have never been told they are their worst enemies.
That's true.
It's just that competition, life, that's just how it is.
Actually, in my life, I found the most supportive people have been other women.
Like, let me tell you, you know our life, politicians. Someone just wakes up from nowhere. You've slept so well. I think one of our guests today shared the way you want things are so perfect. Right. So you're from the constituency. You thought you've done so well. You think that things are perfect. You're happy. Then you go to sleep. Then you just wake up. My friend, you're on the headline. And it's still mostly chini tu, si ndio? Hakuna story ingine most of the time zetu. So you're like, really? But let me tell you, the people who reach out to me, the people who even tell me, where are you? Imagine just come enter my bed, we just sleep, we just talk, are women.
Right.
Yeah, they are women, by the way, imagine. And they encourage, and we are always there for each other, even in the political space.
Right.
We've gotten that space where we call each other, and like, imagine if I go to that function and I don't have you next to me, I'll just crumble, as in, And so we stand by each other and things like that. So that one, imagine me, I don't agree.
You mentioned it goes as far as you traveling to a foreign country and another woman saying, I'll sleep in the room with you. So you're not harassed. Because we talked about sexual harassment.
When I was just nominated, and I have a mentor also, Honorable Naisula Lesuuda. She's our women rep. And so it's so funny that whenever we used to travel out of the country, she's like, mafisi ni wengi sana. You have to sleep in my room. So we always shared her room. Always. That's still also looking out for each other, even as women, she's older and things like that. And my people, it's just a joke though, but they'd always say, mama natukatia tu sana. But
But can I ask, is sexual harassment so rife in politics that even that is necessary?
I think in just all spaces.
Okay.
It's in all spaces that it is there, and at all level, at all level of our lives as women. I'm sure the story would be the same, at whatever cadre or whatever level that you are in. Yeah.
Now, as Samburu West, when we hear stories of cattle rustling, we hear there's actual gun fighting in Samburu. So it's a different kind of MP. It's not like a Nairobi urban, right? Were you terrified to take this on?
So yes, so there's also this lie in leadership, yeah? Most of the times, even when I travel and everything, when I introduce myself and they're like, you don't look like an MP. So I don't know how you guys, MPs are supposed to look how? Not glamorous?
Old.
Not like the way I'm looking. I don't know. So there's this lie that there's a certain way that a leader should be fierce. You know, I don't know how. But it's for us women, we have one skill that God gave us, that we are naturals, that we are gentle, and you can lead with it and actually achieve the same result, or even better result.
True.
And so that was one of the other lies that my opponents used a lot, you know, and they said, hakuna mwanamke haezi enda mbele ya ng'ombe, mwanamke haezi you know, lead in a place where there's conflict and things like that. But who told you I want to lead a community that is in conflict? I want a peaceful community. And that is what I bring on the table, that I will stand for all the communities living in my constituency, in my county, and that is what I bring on the table. And another lie, and I keep even telling men and women who want to aspire, that you don't have, peace will always win. It is the longest, tedious journey, but please walk it, because it will triumph. But if you choose the route of, it's easy. I just whip emotions of Samburus against Turkanas, Pokots, everybody. It's easy for me. It's the easier route. But you can choose the long route, and I'm a testimony that peace will triumph and you will win if you just take that route.
Okay, nice. So I want to ask you a quick question for Cynthia's benefit. I don't think she knows this, but I see her running for office. Have I told you that, Cynthia? There's just something I saw in her when we were rehearsing and going through this whole process for Datasphere. And I don't think she's the only one. I think there are women in the room who might consider it. What are some of the surprises that you wish someone had told you, like this is what running for office can be?
Okay, so I was so shocked that in politics it's not really what you stand for, what you want and everything. Imagine money is such a issue in politics that you could be doing all the right things, you're speaking to people and everything, someone else just comes and washes, oh shwa, umeoshwa, and people just change. And you're like, really?
That's what it's called, umeoshwa.
I thought we talked yesterday, this is what we agreed and everything, and people just change. They just change their minds on issues to do with money. And for women, it continues to be a very big challenge, yeah? Because you know, most of the time, a mother, a wife will be thinking about my children, money, you know, your priorities are probably a bit different. Some also, they have to talk to their husbands for their support and things like that. And also access to financing and all that. You know, even other women, even at the rural level, titles are in their husbands' names, even if you're thinking of disposing one. So
even here in Nairobi, titles are in the husband's name.
Oh, okay. So issues to do with finances, you have to be prepared. Although I'm not saying that that's all it takes, all right? That it's the only thing. The second thing that you have to be prepared is that there is no straight line. You know, there is no, my story probably will not work on you. So the do's and don'ts, they're very good, but you have to be open to those surprises that you're saying, and be very flexible on how you deal with them as they come. And no one should tell you it will be easy. I swear there are days it gets and you're like, why am I doing what I'm doing? Is it whatever? Because kidogo, it can be a very ungrateful path.
And I imagine
and job, as I said, you've gone local, you've done your job, you think you've done what is right and everything. Yani comments kama 50, unatukanwa tu, sijui you're tall, you're short, you've added weight, sijui. You're like, really? You guys, you can't just see for what I have done, you know? And then all these generalizations, the politicians are like this, you know, so sometimes it can be very, so lazima unakuwa tu roju, sindio? Unakuwa tu roju. If for sure you know you're doing the right thing and you know you're in it for a purposeful why you're there,
right,
and you're meaning unajikaza tu.
So something controversial. Where do you stand on affirmative action, especially after what you've said about money and finances?
Yeah. So I'm a strong believer of affirmative action. I mean, it's the one that launched my political career. If I was not nominated, probably the people of Samburu West would never have seen my potential. I would have continued to do my work too, although they had already seen when I used to do the peace caravan and things like that when I was in the media. But really, when I always had that mic, you know, when the elected leaders are given, if I may have the mic.
Right.
So then guys can judge me. People can then see the work that I can do. And so I am also not a believer of the lie that all, you know, nominated seats ni za masculine queens,
right,
sijui za girlfriends za kina
flower
nani,
girls,
sijui we are flower girls, sijui we are, you know, I don't know, all those kind
right,
of things. And
it's
the funny
derogatory,
thing,
it's insulting.
and you know the funny thing is that there are men who are actually nominated, very great men. I use my friend Sakaja was actually nominated,
right,
and we also got to see his potential with all the bills, the things he did with the youth and everything.
True.
And then he's elected. But have you guys ever had any of the nominated men? Kwani hao ni maboyfriends wakina nani? As in, you know, to them they were whose girlfriends or whose boyfriends. But any woman who God or the party or whatever has given the position to lead, now we start saying they're flower girls and things like that. You know, there was one time as a certain senator when we just got in. So first, you can imagine, we were skinnier. We were sijui how. We've come to the Senate. And so one of the senior most, and you know, I had the privilege of going to the Senate when, you know, all the old and seasoned politicians.
The first Senate.
Yeah, were there.
Yes.
And for me, I say it's a privilege because I learned a lot after I earned their respect. Because at first they were like, these girls, who's brought these girls here? Right. You know? And then later
How rude that you're there professionally and
then one day I'm put in a I remember it was the impeachment of a governor. And then one of the senators, normally when you debate and pass the list, so he says, yes, like we have so and so, a seasoned lawyer who will do what? We have, I don't know who, former attorney general, do what? Yeah, and we also have some color added to that committee. Oh.
Wow.
Oh, but he never had the end of it.
It's
no.
Because
he didn't.
Good.
He
because you already had a career, like you had been at KBC. It's not like you came out of nowhere.
And so those are the challenges we go through inside the house, outside the house, everywhere, and no one really gets to see them. And so I'm a supporter of the affirmative seats. It's not tokenism. It's women actually work so hard. You guys have no idea what women in parliament do. I go to their counties, I go to their constituencies, I see the things they do. They actually do those soft things. They do the, but also what I've realized with, and I don't know if it's Kenyan politics or just politics, people like the noisemakers. Like, for example, if I asked you who do you know top of your mind, I wouldn't ask you, please don't say so that my colleagues don't beat me. But then you ask for what? Because of probably what he said or she said in a rally and things like that. While they are actually very quiet people who are changing lives, who are doing very great things out there, and putting also too much pressure for women to explain what they do. All right? For example, we are only 23 of us who are elected in constituency out of 290. Oh, I don't know what.
19.
But nobody ever asks. So 290 minus 23 is what? That number. Nobody ever puts as much pressure. I see it on Twitter and
on
everywhere.
the men to justify their being in office.
What are they doing to change lives in their constituencies and that. So I guess it's just how nature and the world is.
That's true.
On issues to do with women.
Well, I don't know if it's nature, and this is why platforms like this exist. I want to change this narrative.
Yeah.
I want to see more of you in leadership. I want to see more of you on the news. I want to see more of you everywhere, right?
But you also know how it is. Even for the media, we've worked there.
Yes.
Such stories don't sell. And I thank you for giving such platform, and even more women should come and share what they are doing and things like that.
True.
Because those stories, and it's just how news and things work, that will highly not make news.
Okay, so let's talk about something you're doing that hasn't made the news. What are you doing for the boy child? We're accused as women, you've forgotten the boy child, but Naisula has an amazing program for the boy child in your constituency.
Yeah, so I have always been an advocate for girls, and for obvious reasons, yeah? Because, for example, the community that I come in and things like that, we had very low intakes, enrollments in issues to do with school for girls and women to get their space, even just to get their voice.
Right.
And so I've been doing a lot of work in mentoring girls, and women. And then I realized that we're leaving the boy, although, because now I'm running a program called Mentoring Boys to be Great Men. It's not us who left them. They just lowered their standards. So we caught up.
I love that you said that.
No, society had already given them the jump start. They were already way ahead. And so what as many of us who've been doing mentorship have been doing is to uplift the girl, just, confidence, do what, they can also make it and things like that. So instead of our jamas increasing theirs sana, so
mentoring,
that we could doing all those things, they just chilled there. And also our men not also doing exactly what we are supposed also to do. There's a difference when I mentor my girls, they are free to talk to me. They tell me everything about about their periods, about all those things. It's different when I mentor the boy, because there are things that they are really not able to share with me because of whatever.
Right.
And that's why I'm reaching out. And in the program, I've reached out to a number of men. I just lead the process, but they actually are the ones mentoring the boys.
Okay.
Yeah? So that they really mentor the boys. And so when the boys told me, hata ulikuwa umetusahau, nikawambia, no. We just have to
It's
to
actually
work
the
together.
men who had forgotten them. Even now it's taken a woman to ask men to come and mentor.
To come and mentor. And so recently, because we are done with my entire boys of my constituency in just this year.
What's the program? How did you start?
So I have 5 wards. So I bring all my students who are boys per ward, and we have a session together. And so I could realize also my boys had become so timid. They are not as, confident and things like that. And so after they're mentored and we talk and we do different activities, at the end, it's like there's an altar call. It's like they've been called, who wants to get saved? Because now you notice they're a bit, different in everything.
Nice.
And so when they share now with us about a few of the lies that they've been struggling with as boys, one is that you need to man up. You can't cry. A boy can't cry. Because in some of our sessions, by the way, some cry, because there's a whole session where Pastor Mbevi talks to them about if you didn't have a father or a father figure, but then that thing really affects our boys. Kabisa, it's real. So when now they come up and talk about it, and we tell them it's okay. Imagine cry. As in, it's fine.
Right.
It is okay. So that story of just always telling them. So they bottle up a lot of things, which then later, even as they grow up, that's why they manifest it by beating us,
Killing us.
Like they just don't understand when you tell them, I don't want to date you. Instead of just moving on, they kill you.
It's true. Or even taking instructions from women. This is a constant thing. When you employ men, they don't want to.
Exactly.
Yes.
So the number of lies that then our boys have told us that have impacted them the way it is. So that one of saying you have to man up. Then mwanaume is the total sum of his wealth. So it's all about money. Okay? So it's just money. They're just thinking about money because we want them as sponsors. We want, everything. Right. So that then we're not building their values and other things. It's just about money.
Okay.
3 is that it's always about competition. So, and that is why even now when they date and things like that, we cannot collaborate, we can't be partners, we are competing.
Right.
So there's no room.
Someone's winning, someone's losing.
Someone else is winning, you're
Yeah.
losing. So there's always that competition. And the last thing that we also noticed is that lazima ukue simba. For a point to be made, you have to, that's why they be violent and things like that. So, we're learning with them now, and we're continuing, and we're taking the program to another level. But that doesn't mean I'm not leaving my girls behind. My girls, I still want them to go up. So
I think it's interesting how this will play out. I feel it, in as much as feminism has done so much for us women, our male peers didn't walk with us. So now we're these empowered, opinionated, blah, blah women, and our partners are just a little bit behind. And they don't even know how to hear us or be with us. So I love that about your program. I love what you're doing.
Yeah, and also what I noticed with the whole aspect of early marriages, like in my community and others. So if we keep, we're just talking to the girls alone and things like that, the boys are dropping off school and everything, where will they get their wives? They have to come and hunt for my girls in school. So they'll drop, so my girls will drop. So I need to keep my boys in school and at the same time keep my girls in school, and that is the only way my girls are safe. So,
Smart.
It's not rocket science, but, so we need to work together.
Okay.
And by the way, if you come to my schools, my girls now, they're even more in some schools than the boys.
Okay.
Yes, but if we then continue losing them, like now they've just gone through the rites of passage, a big whatever of circumcision, the whole week, I told you I'll be back today.
Yes.
Because schools have opened. I have gone round all my constituency where those rites of passage are going on for the boys to tell the parents, please, Asante, I respect our culture, you have finished, please let the kids go back to school.
Nice.
And I'm happy that they are appreciating, and I can see them doing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Naisula.